Teddy says going to switch to YouTube. Okay, Teddy, thanks for that. According to YouTube, we are live on YouTube. Let's see how true that is. I hope my phone is not interfering with anything. I wouldn't like that. Okay. I don't know what went wrong, but we're live again. So let's keep going. We're gonna get to the next slide. Oh, first, I need to make sure that everything is going right. Okay. I want to pay extra. I go crazy about the deck because I really want to make sure nothing goes bad. Oh, we have Teddy in the chat. Thank you for your comment. I believe you're good now. Okay, we have some some comments confirming that my deck is in place. Well, let's talk about me. Yes, that's me before I shave. That by that I mean this. So I did shave on the side, so yeah, that's outdated. Very old picture. So let's talk about some of the cool things that I've accomplished as a coach and entrepreneur. So I am a life coach and video marketing expert. I graduated from Coach University, the Core Essentials program that is an accredited certified coaching training, life coaching to be specific. I studied and learned from top online marketing experts and influencers. I could name a lot of them, but let's leave it at that for now. You're gonna learn a ton about me. In fact, this is the one session where we're going to get to know each other and in the hopes that you take a like in me. So if we like one another, we're gonna learn more and have more fun. How about that? Are you forced to like me? No, you're not. But I think it would be crazy for you to spend so much time with me and not liking me. I launched 5 businesses in the last 5 years. Pretty crazy stuff. And I survived near bankruptcy 4 times. The reason I mentioned this last one is essentially because that talks about my resilience. So no, things got really difficult. I went through very difficult financial times a lot of times, and with the help of my family, with the help of my probably very strong will, I managed to came through. Not only I did not fall into depression, but I also came the other side strong. And the last reason I am mentioning this is that I will do for you whatever it takes. If you want to come to the sessions, I will do everything I can to give you the best experience you can get. If you end up working with me one-on-one or in a group setting, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that you are successful when it comes to your content creator goals. So keep that in mind. You're awesome, Patrick. Okay, nice. Thank you so much, Debbie, in the chat. And that is it. So I like to really push forward. I really put more than whatever you are investing. So I'm really going to make your time worth your while. I wanted to try a cool feature with these slides programs that I keep forgetting to use. Let's see if I can use it now. This will be fun. So there is this. Where is it? Oh, here. Spotlight. So now we can have an even slightly more interactive session by using Spotlight. Where I was before getting on entrepreneurship. So my big 5 years journey. It all started in 2018. And let's see where I was. Wrong button. I was a new life coach. That was when I graduated from Coach University. I knew nothing about YouTube. online marketing or business. That is a very difficult place to start when you want to grow a business online. Very difficult. And honestly, I think that so many people start that way. So if you feel like this YouTube journey has been like an uphill walk, let me know. Leave me a comment in the chat. Are you the kind of person who said, okay, I knew a lot about video before starting on YouTube? Or are you the kind of person who says like, oh my, this is so hard. I have to edit, I have to design, I have to record, I have to look amazing on camera. It looks like it's a lot and a ton to learn. So that's where I felt 5 years ago. Frustration, lack of direction, and a ton to learn. You know what's the cool part is about this whole thing is that you have no idea what you're getting yourself into. And if you probably knew beforehand everything that was involved in this, you would not start. So there's some kind of blessing to not knowing that kind of stuff. So let's keep going. Again, the wrong button. I worked a full-time job where I felt stuck and then appreciated. So let me tell you this. This is true. And I am sure that a lot of you feel like that. But on the other hand, this is believe it or not, I'm still working for the same company that I was 5 years ago. But there's a couple of big differences that make this job make me feel more appreciated and with a better perspective of what it means to move forward. 5 years ago, it was nothing like that. I was super stuck. Nobody knew what I was doing. Nobody cared what kind of amazing work I was doing. And people just expected me to get my job done. And if I was doing great, that became the new standard. So they didn't care. They didn't look at it as progress. So that's a very really bad feeling. Doing the best you can, not being appreciated, not getting those promotions, whatever the case might be. So unfortunately, things have changed since then. But imagine my state of mind. A clean track record of 0 failures. That may sound like a good thing. That I am trying to emphasize at this stage of my journey how much of a newbie I was. Because here's the thing. The people who fail the most are usually the people who accomplish the most. We tend to associate failure with bad, failure with quitting, failure with you don't have what it takes. But the more you fail, the more you'll learn. And if you want to make it big, that goes for being an entrepreneur, starting from nothing, or starting your own YouTube channel, starting with nothing, you're going to fail a lot. So one of my goals, I apply this to everything that I do in my business, is to save you the amount of possible mistakes that you can make. You're going to have to do your share to make this work. But I want to make sure that we can remove as many obstacles as we can, remove as many inevitable failures as we can. Deal? All right. Where am I now? I think it would make the most sense to get rid of the spotlight right now. Okay, spotlight button, come to me. There. Where I am after 5 years of giving it my all. I decided to put 2 columns here, the numbers that people want to hear and the transformation behind it. Debbie says Geo. Thank you, Debbie. Modern marketing is all about numbers. Numbers that impress people and people go like, oh, isn't that great? Big numbers means a successful person. It is not quite like that always. Ideally, you would be a great person, you will be great at what you do, and after the numbers start coming to you. That is the best possible state. But that's not always the case, and that is definitely not my case. So let's talk about the numbers. I started 5 businesses. I completed 6 online courses and coaching programs, investing $50,000. I think that when $50,000 look like, with a minus, are not precisely that impressive. Still, I'm very proud of all the stuff that I invested in. Launched 3 online courses. I think it's 4 by now. I would like to count this amazing brand breakthrough challenge number 4. Grow a Facebook group to almost 300 members. I am very proud of all the people that are coming into my world when it comes to my Facebook group called YouTube Growth Workshops. By the way, if you are not part of that group and you want to be member 300 maybe, there is a link in the description of this live where you can join the Facebook group. Unfortunately, if you want to join right now, you will probably not get in because I need to approve it. I approve everybody who comes in. That's why we're 300 and not 30,000. So don't get excited about joining the group, but know that it's there. You can apply right now and I will approve you tomorrow. Speak and consult almost 1,000 content creators. Phew, that's a lot of people. Did I do that? Yes. That equals to 100, also includes 122 hours of coaching and consulting. Where did I get that number from? Funny enough, I'm not the kind of person who tracks all that. Like, I'm a numbers guy, but at the same time, I think, man, I want to get into the creative stuff. I want to talk to people. Like, to me, it's like being a nerd comes first, then doing the human stuff comes second, and then doing the numbers comes third or fourth. The reason I have some of these exact numbers is because, especially this last one, is that last week I had the opportunity to apply for a position of YouTube coach at vidIQ, and it was such an awesome opportunity. At the end of the day, I did not get the job, but I was told that they were very impressed with my qualifications. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that in order to build out a solid resume, I counted how many hours of coaching and consulting I accumulated in the last few years. All right, so those are the numbers. Let's talk about the transformation. Become 0.1 top 0.1% in YouTube expertise. At this point, I can watch some of the best YouTubers and YouTube mentors out there and know why they do what they do. I can listen to a lesson taught by Daryl Eves, who, by the way, is the number one YouTube mentor in the world, and he worked with Mr. Beast, among other people. I could watch one of his lessons and know what he's going to say next. That's my level of YouTube knowledge right now, and you're going to enjoy a ton of that. The second thing is to become top 1% in marketing expertise. Even though I know there are a couple of million people ahead of me, I can confidently say that after investing all $50,000 in business marketing and training, etc., that I have that level of knowledge. So I've learned everything about content marketing, emails, how to make an offer irresistible, how to price a package, how to design a coaching program. Hundreds of things that I've learned in marketing from the top experts. So that I sort of became an expert myself. The funny thing is that I didn't even want to study so much marketing. But when you're an entrepreneur, you have to make things work. And because I'm a nerd, when I have a problem, I solve it by studying more. So that's how it works. That's how you get to be number one in these things. Number one in personal growth expertise. I cannot really say that I've read every book about personal development, but I have touched on some very interesting and very profound topics that make me confident enough, not only because I read them, but also because I apply them, because I have embraced them. They are part of me right now. And I can deliver on this type of transformation. We can talk, that's why I'm using the word transformation. So it's not all about hitting the numbers. If you hit the numbers and turn out to be an awful person, you're not doing any better to the world. So personal growth is extremely important. Become 10% of the entrepreneurs who didn't give up in the first 5 years. I like to mention this one because statistically, most people start a business that is literally 90% give up in the first 5 years. So my 5 year anniversary of the crazy entrepreneurship journey started in May 2018. So that's 5 years. And little I knew that 3 months later, I was going to be launching my first branding breakthrough challenge. So this is the best stuff I'm putting out there. And no matter what happens, I'm not giving up. Which takes me to the next point, survive New Year bankruptcy 4 times. Probably it's not necessary to say it again, but still, put all of this together. YouTube, marketing, personal growth, unbreakable resilience. That is the kind of education and support you'll be getting in these 5 days. It's not about me bragging or anything, honestly. Like in the past, I used to beat myself up for not hitting numbers. We'll get to that soon. So this isn't about thinking how amazing I am. This is about me showing you the kind of value that I could give you. But you will also have to do your part. So make sure that you continue showing up to the sessions, continue beating up that a live chat, and pay lots of attention. Let's do a check-in actually. I said chat in. What do you have to do? You have anything good to say in the chat? Say, okay, I'm loving this. Okay. I didn't know who Patrick was 1 hour ago, but now I know and I love it. Whatever he has to tell me, well, anything positive. You can just be positive. You can talk about how excited you are. You can talk about how awesome I am. It doesn't matter. Just say what you feel, and let's get to the next slide. Oh, okay. Well, it's time to talk about you a little bit. Did I talk a lot about me? Yeah, I have. I sort of have. Why are you here? I'm gonna cover 3 interesting group of reasons that will help us figure out what brought you here. We're gonna talk about the problems you might be facing, the goals that you're trying to reach as a YouTuber or content creator, and some of the solutions that you may have tried but didn't work. Looks like I'm gonna need a second glass of water, and guess what? I have it. This stuff is gonna be extremely important. And in a little bit, I'm going to touch base with you on the chat to see what brought you here, you in particular, not just everybody who's listening to this. Let's see, no early success. Almost nobody watches your content. So some people are not starting out and somehow experience this problem. If that is you, there's a good chance that we're going to be helping you big time. The next problem is consistent publishing, but inconsistent results. That is the kind of thing that we're also going to address during this challenge. Hopefully you will be showing up to all the sessions or watch the recordings. Don't forget about that. And, move the needle. This is the kind of work that is going to have a shift on how you do things. And that shift could be precisely what you're missing when it comes to your success. Maybe you plateaued after joining the YouTube Partners program. This happens a lot. You're getting some good results, but you want more. And that is a problem. Maybe for some small creators, they would be jumping up and down if they join the YouTube Partners program. But you could be the person who says, well, I'm proud of this, but I need more. That's totally okay. The grind, that is a big problem. Content creation takes a lot of work, and you have a hard time keeping up with this. There's a lot to do. You have to plan, you have to research, you have to come up with good ideas, to record, edit, and upload your videos. It takes time. It takes work. It takes attention. And none of these are like super simple to do, to be honest. Every phase of your content creation process requires some creative work. So you're doing a lot of very creative work. Honestly, if all YouTube creators got paid, for what they did, and that matched the kind of work that they're putting. Let's say that you were paid only by the quality of the work that you do, regardless of views, regardless of subscribers. It would be a ton of money we're talking about. Because you're investing a lot of hours of creative work. That is very valuable. And it's understandable why you're having a hard time keeping up with this. So the good thing is that by nailing your branding, you're gonna be able to ease your content creation process. So as I said before, your consistent efforts are going to start paying off better, but at the same time, it will become a little bit easier, or maybe a lot, to create content to begin with. Another problem you could be facing, if you've been here, if you've been in the YouTube journey for a while, maybe you're the person who tried it all. And honestly, if that's you, let's shake hands. Because I've felt like that in my entrepreneurial journey so many times. Nothing seems to work. You try one thing, that's work. You try another, and another, and another, and another. Nothing seems to work. That is a very painful state to be, essentially because you think it's not worth it. You think it's never gonna happen. But let me tell you, it will. It will happen. It's going to require some work, and it's going to require a new mindset, a new perspective, and what you're doing, what you've done, and what you will be doing moving forward. Let's talk about some of your goals. I want to play with the spotlight again. There. You may want to become an online celebrity and enjoy the status of and the benefits of being a celebrity. Why not? If you want that, let me know in the chat. You could be the kind of person who wants to get paid from your passion. This is my number one. So if you're that, you are my best friend. Yeah, but seriously, I will help you. That's one of my biggest goals of why I do what I do. Doing what you love and getting paid for it. If that's you, let me know in the chat and let's make things happen. And next thing that you could be, one of your desired goals is to quit a job that you hate. This one sounds so appealing, and honestly, most people in today's world, too many people actually, are stuck and unappreciated at their job, and that is super unfair. And it shouldn't be like, definitely not. So if you make this whole YouTube thing work enough, well enough, you can quit your job, which is limited when it comes to income, freedom, and opportunities. And I mean freedom in a very broad way. As I said earlier, creating content takes a lot of creative work. And when you're at certain jobs, you can't really get as creative. Like, it's a lot harder to get creative because of the limitations of the environment. Let's talk about this. Get ahead professionally. YouTube seems like an excellent option to get ahead professionally. If you have a YouTube channel, you could showcase your work. You could use it as an asset to your curriculum or resume, and do better. How many people in your field have a YouTube channel about their work? Probably not that many. So why not? And the other thing about YouTube and work, YouTube and traditional jobs is that resumes, cover letters, the whole job search market doesn't do justice to how good you are, ever. Honestly, I was pretty shocked actually when I did my application. That was another job application. Last year, I applied to work at Mr. Beast. They wanted a person who could come up with viral ideas for that specific channel, you know which one. And I was very shocked to see that they were expecting a traditional resume and cover letter. thought to myself, but these are not good representations of how good I am. So the good thing is that it seems like the world is opening up a little bit. It's going to continue opening further. And mainstream common sense are going to realize that this whole Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, Monster World don't help. It's gonna get to a point where there's gonna be so many people who need a job, and the job market search is just a barrier for people getting to where they're supposed to. So, for a better world, if you did like what I said, if that's resonating with you, let me know in the chat. I think it would be great for us to, maybe agree on something or build that connection between us. Plus, I am dead serious. Job search doesn't do justice to how amazing you are. So let's get to the next part. I believe you're good. Well, grading definitely takes a lot of time and commitment. Okay, we got a comment in the chat. Completely agree, Debbie. Thanks for the comment. For your business. So you could be a business person and YouTube seems like a great option. Funny thing is that when it comes to growing your business, if you're an established business and want to use YouTube as a lead generation or even sales strategy for your business, you can totally do it. And you don't even need that big of an audience. So I hope you're getting excited because these 5 reasons are very, very interesting. So if you are open to letting me know which one of these, let me turn off the spotlight. Which one of these resonate with you most? Let me know in the chat. I think it'd be great for us to know each other, to know our motivations. So everything that we'll do in this challenge is going to have the goal of moving you forward to what you most desire. If whatever you're up to doesn't appear in this list, let me know too. Just put a comment in the chat and we'll talk. By the way, if I'm not responding to every comment that we get, it's probably because I'd rather be talking to you like this instead of just typing. But everything you're saying, I am reading. Okay. Let's see. It's BS. It's BS when you get right down to the nitty gritty. It's more than a berry. Okay. I believe she's pretty sure she's talking about the job market. Yeah, I'm very anti system in that sense. Well, let's keep going. How are we doing with time? Looks like we're doing great. Yes, we certainly are. Are you tired of solutions that don't work? So, before I get started, I want to give you a word of warning. Everything you're seeing on the screen are not things that never work, ever. They are things that address your channel issues on a somewhat surface level. Some of these are super surface level, which means that you shouldn't do. Some of them are kind of in the middle, but none of these get to the root cause of why you're not getting to where you want to be. Let's talk about them. Upgrading your studio equipment. I'm very shocked to see how often this is brought up. A lot of people tend to think that getting a much better camera or good lighting or good sound is going to help them grow their channel. This is not true. The quality of your content comes down to the idea, to how good the idea is. Then all the other things that you do are going to help you a bit, but bad content is not going to become good content. The boring ideas are not going to become great because your equipment is great. In fact, there's a limit to how far you can go. Honestly, these days, affordable studio equipment is very accessible. What I mean by that is that you can use your phone. I'm using a very simple lamp right now. I'm using a laptop. I'm using a super cheap webcam and still getting good quality image and sound. So don't obsess about this. The next thing is publishing more videos. this sometimes often doesn't work because you're putting out there more stuff of the same. Your big idea hasn't changed. Your branding is not completely on point. It's not, your ideas are not super unique, and you publish more thinking that more is better. And to some extent, you could get more reach by publishing more videos. But if the cost of that is you burning out and hating the YouTube journey, you have to stop. SEO, keywords, tags, hashtags, vidIQ, TubeBuddy, AI tools, etc. This is one of the most maddening. Is it? No, no, I get mad at a lot of things, but SEO really gets me mad. The reason why is SEO, first of all, SEO can be simplified by tools. So vidIQ and TubeBuddy can do a lot of that, of the heavy lifting when it comes to keywords research, and you don't have to put that much attention. Some people obsess. They say, okay, I have to do it perfect. I have to get all the keywords. I have to spend 5 hours finding the perfect keywords, and that's going to get me where I want to be. So there are a few problems with SEO. One is that there are lots of videos that simply can't rank for search. The S of SEO starts for S, search, and the E for engine, okay? So search engine. There are some certain videos that are not going to rank in search ever. That's because people are not looking for that stuff. If you make a video called I surprised my girlfriend with a huge teddy bear, nobody's searching for that. People search for news, people search for things that they want to know how to do, or people search for product reviews, movie reviews. If they have a specific question, they look for the answer to the question. But there is a lot of entertaining content doesn't fall in the whole search engine category. That's why it gets me mad. Another thing that gets me mad is when people try to get a perfect score. So if you're familiar with vidIQ, you know they have a point system for how good your SEO is. Don't try to do it. Bad idea. You're putting so many keywords and so many tags and for keyword phrases that your description, that's where you're stuffing all the SEO thing, doesn't fully match what's on the video. And when that happens, YouTube algorithms are going to get confused. And if you ever heard this or happened to you, getting perfect score and no exposure, this is why. And the last thing I want to say about SEO is that even if you did everything right and your video gets to the top of search results on YouTube, your video needs to meet that expectation. If people get into your video and skip the first 20 seconds or leave under the first 20 seconds, YouTube is not going to continue recommending that. Because YouTube gets bad responses from the recommendations and takes another route, tries to recommend somewhere else. And if it continues getting bad results, it's going to stop recommending altogether. That's the technicals. That is the inner machinations of the algorithm. That is how a video dies behind the scenes. I'm just drank so much water already. Titles and thumbnails, clickable titles and thumbnails. I find this very important, but you can only go so far with your titles and thumbnails if the idea of the video and the big idea of your channel are boring, don't meet the expectations, are not unique, don't have any personality, don't have any originality. You could do really well in titles and thumbnails, but if the idea itself is not interesting enough, this will not work. So let me then be clear about how nuanced this is. It is important to get this right. You can get more views by doing this well, but if you don't fix your branding, your foundation, these are going to lose their power. If you're the kind of person who said, "Oh, I heard that titles and thumbnails do this, but it hasn't worked for me. It hasn't worked for so many people." There is a reason why. So remember, you want to learn this well, but when the foundation is broken, they're not gonna do its job. Let's talk about some of the other things that you could have tried and don't work. I wanted to make this list lengthy, and in fact, I made a separate video called the YouTubers Priority List, where I address like maybe 50 items of things that don't work. But let's stick to these few ones here because I think they are probably some of the most popular. Publishing short form content. My short answer, short, to this is that millions of YouTube creators became successful before YouTube Shorts even existed. So that means that if you're a so-so creator and post a lot of shorts, you're not going to become successful. Shorts are useful. They have their uses, a little bit more exposure, less production time. You can do them. But my way of doing YouTube and teaching YouTube especially is long form content. Because the longer you hold their attention, the more trust you can build. But if you see 9 seconds YouTube short getting 1 million views, you haven't accomplished anything. Seriously. I don't want to be mean to you, but to me, that's not an accomplishment. You can't do anything with that. At best, you can monetize shorts later on, which pays almost nothing. And that's it. Social media promotion. Putting your links on Instagram, Facebook, and others. The vast majority of YouTube creators I know don't know how to do this effectively. It's not, I mean, to insult anybody, but that is a reality. Doing this well takes some work. And here's the thing. If you're putting so much attention and learning to how to do social media promotion well, you're wasting your time because you have to make sure that your videos are the best they can be. So if you already are a social media expert, go for it. Okay. I could give you some tips on how to do this effectively, but I highly recommend that you take 95% of your time in content and 5% in social media promotion. Very little time or nothing, because if it's not paying off, wasting 1 hour on that is wasting too much. YouTube advertising. So YouTube advertising is tricky. The first thing that I wanted to say that you will probably find very valuable is that the views you get from YouTube ads do not count towards monetization. So know that upfront. It's great to get the extra exposure, but if your goal is to get more watch time and revenue, this is not the way. Second, to me, advertising works this way. Now, you could talk about YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. To me, advertising is about amplifying something that's already working. If your video flops and you try to boost the reach by paying advertising, things are not going to end well. We're going to end up paying a lot for very few views. Okay. So not a great option. Honestly, I don't recommend this to anybody. If you come to me and say, what if I try YouTube ads? I will say no 99% of the time. Let's talk about SEO promo services from agencies and freelancers. I'm cringing just by saying it. Oh, we have extra comment. That's cool. Oh, look at that. Theodore says, getting paid for my passion. I would like to get paid to travel and be invited to media events. It's amazing. I love it. We have Dr. Debbie. My goal is not to need a job, as I like my job, but there's a big difference between having a job because you need it or because you want it. Yeah, there you go. Yes, you work because you want it. Well, let's touch on this last one. SEO promo services from agencies and freelancers. To my knowledge, most SEO promo services are completely useless. People who know nothing about YouTube promote that kind of stuff. People who don't understand that you can't just pay to get results. Okay, that in fact, that's not how I work. You can pay me to get results, but what I'm gonna do is be unconditionally supportive towards you. But I'm not going to get in your shoes and make the videos for you and publish them and do everything so that you don't have to even look at them and promise you success. That's not only impossible, but also not my way of doing things. So that is what these people say. You need to nail your branding. You need to get good at making and planning and making content. And these people reach out to just about anybody without any sort of discernment, aside from the fact that they are a YouTube creator, and they say, pay me money and I will help you get monetized. So at best, if these services are real, at best, they're only going to continue working as long as you continue paying. You stop paying, you haven't built a loyal audience, you haven't done the due diligence of working, of getting exposure and attention to your channel through your work. And the moment you remove your credit card is the moment your channel growth is going to drop. So don't buy into this stuff. Okay. Oh, there you have it. Oof. All the solutions that don't work. I think we're doing well with time. Honestly, I have tweaked this presentation quite a bit. I want to make sure there's enough time for everything. Let's talk about branding. Oh, finally, the real answer. What is channel branding? Let me tell you what channel branding isn't. That will get things started. In fact, tell me in the chat, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about branding? I am sure that whatever it is going to change your mind by the end of this session. Okay, we're just gonna keep the chat open and get to back to it a little bit. Channel branding is not your designs, colors, and logo. Is not your channel intro. You may have seen that in many YouTube channels. Maybe you've done it yourself, and it's not your catchphrases. Like you say, I can't wait to see what we can create together. That's one of my catchphrases. That is not branding. It is and it's not. The thing is that all of these elements are surface level. Okay. A lot of people say, oh yeah, the logo, they will remember it, blah, 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 the emotional connection. Yes. But if there is not a big idea behind it, that's not going to work. So we don't know, we don't recognize Apple because the Beat Silver Apple is the most original and most exciting idea you've ever seen. That is not why people see the Apple logo and get excited. So we're gonna, the kind of work that we're gonna do is foundation. To me, channel branding is the soul of your content. If you want to talk about the whole mind, body, spirit paradigm, you could say that the logo, the colors, the catchphrases, all of those things are sort of like the mind and the body. And the branding is the channel branding is the soul of the content. The other things are surface level, so they're not going to have the same impact on how well you are attracting your audience. I like to say this. I have two big reasons to say that channel branding is the soul of the content. One is that it is the foundation for everything you create moving forward. So every time you come up with a new idea, you will look at what you wrote as your channel branding. Every time you come up with a title or a thumbnail, you're going to keep your channel branding in mind. Make sure that everything is on brand. The next reason is that channel branding is the big idea that people subscribe to. People don't subscribe to titles and thumbnails. They don't subscribe to videos. They subscribe to a big idea. Big ideas attract audiences. And that big idea is going to be reflected time and time again in everything that you built when it comes to content. Isn't that exciting? Because of these two major reasons, nailing your branding is going to have the biggest effect on your channel. If your channel branding is unique, original, personal, and everything else, you're going to have that idea that people subscribe to. And everything you do when it comes to content creation will become easier. And I'm going to touch on some of the other benefits of channel branding. So if you wondered what this challenge is about, after all the stuff that I said, this is it. The soul of your content. By taking care of the soul, you would probably understand this. The soul is the deepest part of all. So that's what we're going to take care of. And even though it may sound complicated, may sound too big picture, too abstract, throughout the next 4 days, you're going to see exactly how to create your own. And trust me, it's not a hard process. Channel branding is your unique answer to the big question. What is my channel about? There you go. When I ask, what is your channel about to people, they usually give me a very simple and short question. They tell me their niche, say education, teaching, stock markets, comedy, skits comedy at best. They give me very, very simple, niche kind of answers. But that is not at all what their channel is about. There are two problems with branding, in fact. One is that most channels are not unique enough and original enough. But at the same time, the other problem is that even if your channel is somewhat more unique and more original, more interesting than most, when content creators hear this question, they don't give me an answer that is a proper reflection of that. So if they want me to watch their channel, let's say that we're not on a one-on-one conversation, and you said, "Oh, I'm a YouTuber. You should totally watch my channel." And I said, "Well, what is it about?" And then you tell me, "Well, it's about dog training." And I go like, "Okay, that's cool, but what's so special about your channel? Why is it so different from the hundreds of dog training videos?" And if I am very mean and I happen to know your niche, I could tell you that there is this other creator that I know it's super big and tell you, why would I watch him? Why would I watch you instead of him? Right? I'm super mean. I'm not mean. You're safe here, but that could happen. And it doesn't matter if it's an uncomfortable time. What matters really is that people will subscribe to ideas. And if those ideas are not interesting enough or unique enough, you'll be in trouble. And if you have anything that is somewhat more original than the rest, we're going to pull it out. That creativity that you're holding is within you. We have to pull it out, and the more you see it, the more it will grow. The more you see it, the better it's going to get. The more you see it, the more you'll do it. That's how it works. You identify a pattern, and then you say, "I am doing this. That is so smart." And when you don't see that, you end up testing different things constantly, one thing, then another, then another. And all the good stuff that you've been doing, that you've done at some point, you just simply change it again because you have no direction. There's another term for channel branding, which is channel direction. I'm going to touch on that, how I learned that in a little bit. But I want you to know that this is the big question that we need to answer. If you've got the Branding Breakthrough Challenge workbook, you should have via email. You're going to see that on day one, one of the very first assignments of this entire challenge is to answer this question. So make sure you do that tonight or tomorrow, the latest, before day 2, okay? And review all the assignments that are not that many, and make sure you get them done. Gonna get to how you should be approaching this challenge shortly. All right. Let's talk about Broad Trick a little bit more. Well, origin story. Let's talk about me for quite a while. I should have brought more water. So I'm going to share my story with you for two essential reasons. The first one is, again, we need to get to know each other. You need to know that I am the kind of person that you will want to listen, that you will want to follow. Am I your idea? Am I the idea that you will subscribe to? That is the question that's going to be hanging around for the next several minutes. And the second reason is that there's so many important, powerful lessons in my story that you have to know about. Remember, I want to make sure that you make the least amount of evitable mistakes or failures. So it all started in 2018. I was a new life coach and I just graduated from my life coaching program, life coach training program, and I didn't know anything about business. So things were different. To be honest, I was super excited. When you're new, you get the freshness of excitement. And you don't think about all the stuff that you don't know. You don't think about how many walls you're going to hit. It's like the world is yours, and all you need to do is get started and move forward. But life is more complicated, especially when you have a big goal. So I remember that I was reading some books. I took my first course um, on marketing, and then I had this very interesting epiphany moment. So I was at my work, my full-time job, which is at the same company that I continue working for. And I remember I do a lot of data entry in this work. And I remember I was typing, entering stuff. And I have this habit, which could be annoying to some people, but honestly, nobody tells me anything, so I'll just keep doing it. That is to sing. I sing while I work. I do that a lot. So I play YouTube in the background. I have playlists of music, and I often sing to them. I happen to be a good singer, by the way, so it's not like the people around me would hate it, unless they simply hate the kind of music that I listen to. But it's okay. I don't care. I just keep going. So I was right on my computer, playing the music, singing along, and all of a sudden I was interrupted by this ad. And I know ad is what pays YouTubers, but I hate ads. Um, by at that time, YouTube Premium didn't exist, so you had to stay through the ads and skip them as soon as you could. But this one was different. So it was an ad about a free course, free training that showed how common people were turning their passion into a full-time income through YouTube. And I was so excited about the idea. It really caught my eye. So instead of skipping the ad, I started watching the whole thing of the ad. I said, wow, this is amazing. Like I've been thinking for the longest time that becoming full-time on YouTube was up to luck. That making money out of YouTube was something inexplicable to me. That you had to be lucky or and get those tons of views and magically, start receiving money. I didn't understand anything about how that worked. So then when I took the course, it was a free course, like a 4 hours course. I couldn't put it down really. I know you said that about books, but you know what I mean. And I learned that there is a process to get to where you want to be, even for YouTubers. I said, wow, this is so crazy. And you have to know this. Mentors know the path. Even though I learned this for YouTube, I began to realize as time went by, this is applicable to everything that you're trying to accomplish. Three things. It's not up to luck. There is a process, and mentors know the path. So if you've been disappointed about your results on your progress on YouTube, I want you to remember those three truths about success. And then, well, they had this at the end of the course. I learned a ton in that course. And then at the end of the course, they were selling their next course, which was not free. It was a $1,000 course. And I said, well, I have to get on board. Like at the time, honestly, I had my credit card almost maxed out. And I said, okay, I can do it in 6 installments. I will do it in 6 installments, whatever it takes. I have to take this course. And that was a very good decision because I invested in myself. But then something happened. So at the same, I was in a path of, there were two parallel paths in this adventure, this is so to speak. And something was not quite working. I was very excited about YouTube, becoming a YouTuber, and but at the same time, I had the coaching thing because remember, I was a new coach, and coaching was the work that I wanted to do. And for some reason, I saw those two things as being in conflict. In conflict, I said, I can't do one and not the other. Because I was kind of in a difficult position because I said, oh, this YouTube thing is so awesome. I really want to do it. But at the same time, I knew that what I was meant to do is coaching. I was at a crossroads between two passions. And obviously, I decided to take coaching instead of YouTube. I don't know if that was a mistake. I usually think that it wasn't. But sometimes my mind wanders. What if? And I did buy that brand new crazy course. I watched every video, but embarrassingly enough, I barely did anything with my YouTube channel. Phase two, getting to work. Now, this is really cool. So I went down the coaching path and I started a lot of ideas. I started taking courses. I started on one niche. The niche didn't work. I quit. Then 2 months later, I started a new idea for a business, and then I quit, and I started another one, and then I quit. And that's how I got to starting 5 businesses. When things didn't work, I thought, well, I need to know more. I need to sharpen up my business skills. So I took the course after course after course after course. So in a lapse of 3 years, I invested $50,000. I launched and failed at 4 businesses, resilience. I took 6 courses. I spent $50,000. And honestly, in many ways, I was somewhat disappointed. But in so many others, I said, I'm investing in myself, investing everything that I could, everything that I didn't have in order to make my dreams a reality. But if you want to take something away from this part of my story, is that you will want to invest in yourself. Invest in money, yes, in courses, in mentors, but also invest in everything else. Invest in time, invest in energy, investing into developing yourself, gaining skills, become a better person. That is the real journey. The real journey is to become the person who you need to be to get what you want. That is the real journey. Ignore the numbers, ignore the payoffs, ignore the awards. That is the real journey that we are all going through. And if you aren't, that means that you simply probably settle for mediocrity. But honestly, I don't think that's your case because you're in this challenge. So congratulations again for joining. Let's take this to the next crazy level. So it's not like I haven't not thought about getting back to YouTube in all those years. It's not like I haven't thought about wanting to coach YouTubers to reach their content creator goals. I did try, failed at many businesses, as I said, but it's not like I wasn't thinking about that. But there was one big obstacle, one big wall holding me back. And that was that I was not successful with my own YouTube channel. So how can you coach people in helping them reach their goals as a YouTuber if you haven't done that yourself? A lot of people come to me and talk to me and tell me something like that. They have no idea how much I thought. Honestly, it was damaging. It was toxic. It was pushing my dreams to the side. It was very, very painful to think about that. Because I said, what if I did this? I mean, I love YouTube so much. The thing is that I'm such a nerd that every time I took a course, I studied everything about it, but not doing much about it. I was supposed to make videos. I was supposed to build websites. I was supposed to, but I wouldn't do a lot of that. And I wasn't sure exactly why. Some people say that it was fear. Some people would say that he was not feeling that I was good enough. Some people would say that it's imposter syndrome or whatever that was. I was always, thinking about that while I said, man, I love YouTube, but I just can't. Like everybody says that I can't. But here's the thing. You can't only if you believe you can't. But let's not talk about that whole mindset stuff that everybody talks about. Let's talk about something even more real, and that is your own power. Who the only person who can tell you that you can't do something is yourself. If other people try to convince you into that, I mean, I've had people saying you're crazy, you have to quit. Seriously, but I know where that's coming from, so I don't listen to that anymore. And honestly, I'm a completely different person. So if people tell me you can't do this, screw it, I can do it. Which takes me to one of the biggest insights I've had in my journey, and that is why not go straight to the pizza? I remember this quote so clearly. It's not even a quote, actually. It's I'm a fan of the soap opera Desperate Housewives. It's one of the to me one of the best shows ever made. And for those who don't know, it's like a soap opera, drama, crime, romance, comedy. Like it has everything. That's one of the reasons I love it so much. And it's a story about the families who live in the suburbs in a fictional place called Wisteria Lane. And there are some families, the story follows some families, and there are a couple who start talking about this pizza idea. So here's the thing. One of the two, the two didn't have any jobs. They had a background in marketing. They did that corporate marketing for so many years. They were really good at it, but suddenly the two parents, the two in the couple, were left out without a job. And then he comes up with this idea. He said, well, I don't think I love marketing that much. It had benefits, it paid me well, it was a career, blah, 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 blah. But what I really want to do is have my own pizzeria restaurant. And those two, this couple were having quite the argument about it. So the woman was very business oriented, and she was very rational, very logical, very, let's say, realistic. And she didn't want to support that idea. And she thought that it was so risky, they would lose a ton of money. It would not work out. On the other hand, he was all for the passion, for the passion thing. That sounds familiar. So what he was thinking most is his passion. And this is, and then in one of the many discussions that the couple are having, the lady says, opening a pizzeria restaurant is so risky. What if you started with catering? You don't have to rent a place. You can, it's a much safer investment. You could even make enough money from catering to open your pizza restaurant afterward. That sounded like a great idea. Honestly, as a viewer, you thought the lady has a point. I'm sure a lot of people who watched that episode said she has a point. That's a good idea. And then this is what he said. Why not go straight to the pizza? That is my dream. And that is exactly what I did. Going straight to the pizza means that you don't want to pursue a goal that is a means to an end. If this is your passion, go straight to it. Don't think that you have to prove the world, that you have to qualify yourself to a certain point in order to do it. It's not like this applies to everything, obviously. You will want to have somebody, you will want to have it, doctors, lawyers, and social scientists and psychologists who graduated from university. I'm not saying that. In fact, a very pro university, but this was different. The youth world is not mainstream. That means that the standard for this not mainstream world was you have to grow your YouTube channel in order to teach YouTube. And what did I say? Why not go straight to the pizza? I never thought I could get such an insight from that phrase, from that show, so unexpectedly. But that is what I did. And I realized something crazy, that combining YouTube advice with life coaching was possible. They were not in contradiction anymore. And I could do what I wanted in all possible ways. That is why I do what I do. In fact, what I realized later is that combining two passions is one of the most important strategies you will learn in this challenge, which is called the hybrid niche. The hybrid niche is making a unique idea out of two passions merged together. We are going to cover that idea extensively on Wednesday. Okay, that's day 3 of the challenge. But that's a small teaser for you. The end of the journey. So even though things were seemingly better, I had some small wins and some big losses. I launched 3 courses as a YouTube coach. I've grown my Facebook group to almost 300 people. I had my first 10 clients. But the biggest problem for me was that it wasn't enough. I was not paying my bills yet, and I'm still not. I was still working a full-time job. I was not breaking through. But the worst part is not taking too long to accomplish what you want. The worst part is that you start looking around and comparing yourselves to others. You've heard this before, don't compare yourself to others, and you shouldn't do it. This is real, very legit knowledge about life. But the problem is that once you're in it, it becomes a lot harder. Once you try things over and over and over, this is how I got my numbers. Okay, this many clients, this many hours of coaching and consulting, this many group members. That's how I got them. I was putting myself out there like crazy. I was talking to hundreds of people every month. And I did get some good results. But then I said, man, this is so hard. And then you start looking around and said, that person has such a big YouTube channel. That person is making so much money, and I'm not. That person, he just got his first $1 million. He's young, and he's younger than. Like, it is so frustrating. You get so mad, you get so sad. But the worst part is that you are your worst enemy. You begin to think that nothing is ever enough. You start to think that you are not good enough. You start to blame yourself, your shortcomings, your mistakes, your imperfections for your failures. And sometimes they're not even failures. It's just that you are at a certain stage of your journey. So what you want to take away from this part of the lesson is don't compare yourself to others, of course, but never, never, ever beat yourself up. If you're the kind of person who believes in tough love, get out of it. No, I'm joking, but in all seriousness, Never beat yourself up. Never beat others up for what they do or what they don't do. And never stop believing that you can, because you can. You got this. And if things are not working the way you expect, it's because it's going to take you more knowledge, more personal growth. I'm going to touch on that in a second. More help, even, or simply more time. Maybe you're doing amazing, but but you are not seeing the results that you want yet, and then you start to become impatient, and then you don't see that you are on the right path, but you just get impatient and start comparing yourself to others, beating yourself up, and that is the recipe for destruction. That is real failure. The, so let's talk about the end of the journey, which is what brought us here together. New transformations, heal, believe, and transform. So this last part of this crazy, crazy journey that I've had, I told you it was gonna be good, is that honestly, I was near rock bottom. And this is honestly a very horrible place to be, because if you look at the success that I was getting compared to a few years back, I was doing so well, but I had this never enough mindset. Look, I did two very, very important moves that were not completely planned, but they happened, and they also changed my life completely. The first thing that happened is a journey of healing. I wanted to share this book with you, The Presence Process. I'm not affiliated to them or anything whatsoever, but I want to make sure that you know about this book. This book is, to me, a masterpiece for personal growth. It really helped me heal. The book alone, you don't need a course. The book alone is sort of works like a course, which you follow through for 12 weeks. And then, boom. Honestly, this is one of the most transformative experiences I've ever gone through. And all you need to do is take the book. This was really, really helpful. It really helped me get rid of a lot of past painful experiences, and I was feeling so much better about myself. But that was not enough for some reason. I sort of knew it wasn't going to be, but trust me, this book is very powerful. The next thing that I did, in fact, I read this book and do this presence process every year. So I want you to, consider it. If I find it so valuable, you might as well. The next thing that I did was to take this is a course, and it's called Be Extraordinary by Vishen Lakhiani, who's the founder of Mindvalley, one of the biggest personal growth education companies in the world. And this course also helped me a ton to heal, to tap into my intuition, to believe in myself again. And this was a life changing. This was really what brought me from 0 to 100. I was done comparing myself with others. I was done rushing my way to success, and I was happy with everything that I did. I was detaching myself from the outcome and building something great that I really love. And one of the outcomes, speaking of outcomes, from my healing and regaining my self confidence journey that happened early this year. Oh, it looks like we're having technical problems again. Let me have a look. Okay. Let's try again with this YouTube live thing.